Hi everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Tehani. On today's episode, we have Mayaan Haputantri, who is the founder of Sri Lanka's latest theatre startup, Clutch Plays Theatre. Hi Mayaan.
Hi Tehani, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
First time ever in our entire lives we're having a conversation, so
Yeah.
it'll be nice to get to know you. That's totally what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about yourself.
So I guess since I'm here to talk about Clutch Plays Theatre, I'll talk a little bit about drama.
Yeah.
So I went to Royal College. So I was never like a theatre kid or like a drama kid when I was in school. So theatre just kind of randomly happened in my life when my friend called Imad just said like, do you want to join our Shakes cast for this year because it's fun? And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that was in 2014. And I really wasn't like good at drama or I wasn't like talented or anything like that. I just went because honestly it was just fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like a love for it kind of grew over time. Just like I was never like the big role or something like that. You know, it was just sitting and kind of watching the plays for the most part. But over time, like just that love for like how much fun we had making like a play, kind of is what what stuck with me, and that's what I guess led me into like continuing drama even after I left school. Yeah.
So what would you say was, how many shakes have you done in school?
So as an actor, that was 2014, 15, and 16. So I guess the big one was 2016 for me because I think prior to 2016, I didn't really think about drama as something that I really wanted to do like forever in my life. And that year kind of changed everything because in 2016, so we do this whole thing called a Shakes. I'm sure like a lot of you know what Shakes is. It's like the inter-school Shakespeare drama competition. I think I said that right. And that's like this big competitive thing where like there's like a boys school and boys category and a girls category, and they have their own competitions, and they, in the end, one plays a judge to be the winner, and they're the best, you know, about it, whatever. So this was like a really big deal when we were in school. So like every year, once Shakes ends, you wait for the next Shakes, and you really want to like be the best because like you're really trying to like, I don't know, like you're always trying to find out what the other schools are doing, like who's playing what role, what play are they doing. Don't ask such sensitive questions, Tehani, all right?
Sorry.
No, we did not win.
Okay.
So 2016 was the, funnily enough, Royal won Shakes for the last time in 2013. I joined in 14 and they have not won since.
No, that's not.
So there is a bit of a correlation there. We can't.
No, that's not why they didn't win. No.
Okay. So yeah, so this whole thing happened in 2016, and I was cast as Julius Caesar in Julius Caesar, and that was like,
wow.
Like I have to play the main role, and it was like, you know, this whole thing. But that entire experience was like life changing, and after that ended, I really knew like I couldn't let go of it. Like I knew I wanted to continue like being involved in like royal drama as well. Yeah. So for me, the only way to do that was to direct, and that was kind of how I started getting into like directing theatre.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. You started off as an actor, but I got to know you as a director. So how did that happen, and what was your first experience directing?
Oof. So the last time I acted was actually for Julius Caesar. That was in 2016. And then my goal was to like be involved in directing school when it came to 2017. Yeah. So right after 16 ended, like so we came runners up. And that was like this biggest, like they always say coming runners up is worse than coming fourth because like runners up means you're so close, but you just, I think when you watch like the Olympics and stuff, always the guy who's second place is like fuming and the guy who's like third is like just happy to be there. Yeah. You know, so it was like this big depressing like 3 months afterwards where we just like, damn it, we were so close. So after that, so after 2016 ended, I really knew I wanted to direct. So I had no idea what to do. So I feel like me as a person, like I really just want to like make sure I know everything about something before I kind of try to take charge in it. Yeah. So I just like literally just Googled saying like top 10 books on directing, and I just bought like 7 of them. I just read and I kept reading and I watched interviews and I did like I realized I have an obsessive personality after that experience in my life because I just like went for it. And so the first play I directed was like a few months later in 2017 because Royal had their in-house drama competition. And my friend called Asel like asked me to join because like 2 houses were like really lacking members, and they were like so desperate for something to happen in that house that they combined houses because they had no idea what they were doing. Yeah. And they were like, "Can you come and like help?" And I was like, "Okay, sure. Like I'll give it a shot." So magically we ended up winning, and I have no idea how. I remember like when we won, I was like so pumped. There's no reason that this guy who just left school should be so pumped about a certain house in school winning, you know. But for me, like that was like the first thing for me, which was like, that's like a green light, you know, like that was something good. Like I can do this. Like it gave me a lot of motivation and like encouragement to like, continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, so then after that, what happened?
Unfortunately, I went to AIS afterwards, and I met you, and that was horrible experience. That was a horrible experience in my life.
Okay.
Would not recommend, guys. Do not go to AIS.
No, but you directed AIS Inter-House Drama 2 years before you directed our batch. So how did that happen? How did that happen?
I think so. Tehani. Previous Tehani. I think she knew one of the boys that I directed for Royal.
Okay.
And I think when you guys are searching for an inter-house director, she spoke to him and he had given my name.
Yeah.
So the story goes, the legend has it, that when you were looking for a director for your house, you all called like 3 other people before me and they all didn't answer their phones. So you all had to like resort to calling me. And I picked up, I was like, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I came and that's how that entire thing happened.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day I came to like meet like Tehani, Chandrasena and like that entire batch of kids for the first time. So yeah, the first time I met you guys, I was a little intimidated because the kind of kids in drama that I was used to at Royal College and the kids that I met at AIS were like very different. Because at Royal, like I feel like we were just like so in this whole drama mold where we kept doing shakes every year. We did a production every other year and we were like so in it. Whereas at AIS, it felt a little bit more new to all of you guys.
Yeah.
And that definitely came across in the first reading because I remember when I came in, I was like, okay, guys, so this is the play we're doing. And no one had read up on the play. I was like, okay. So then my first 45 minutes was explaining what the play was to everybody. And then when we started reading, it was like you guys had an elocution class, you know, like presenting a speech in front of the class. It was really awkward. And I remember like one of you guys even joked saying like, guys, don't know if Mayaan's going to come back, guys. And in my head, I was like, really going to come back to this? Like, do I really want to continue doing this? And there was even a moment after I met like the IS kids for the first time. I went back to my car and I was like, no, it's okay, we'll do it. You know what? It's a good experience. We'll do it. And it was like, it turned out to be one of the best decisions in my life because like AIS Inter-House Drama like holds a very special place in my heart now. And like, I would never trade those like memories for a lifetime of drama. So
agreed.
Yeah.
So when you were directing our play, Othello, what would you say was the most memorable thing that happened? Lots of things happened.
The most memorable, that was honestly that Othello AIS Inter-House cast was like the most like turbulent directing experience of my life. Because the group of kids that I got were like the most naughty kids on the planet. Like they would not behave, like they would not sit down, and they would not go home and learn their lines. You know, like I had to like force feed them acting and directing for the most part. But like that made it really difficult for me in the start. Like I remember I used to go home like depressed. I was like, oh, like today wasn't a good day.
We
like,
were a great cast.
I'm sure you'd think so. But that whole experience, honestly, the fact that you guys matured so much, because from the start, you guys were like just not the brattiest kids on the planet. And you guys went to becoming like the most hardworking group of like focused kids when it came to that last week. That's what I love about that experience, because like we had a journey and a half doing Othello. So I would say that whole experience, that journey that you guys had was like the favorite thing for me. Like, yeah.
So in 2020, you started Clutch Plays Theatre. Were you thinking about starting a theatre company? And how did it actually happen?
I mean, 2020 was when like, so 2020, the beginning of 2020 was when we did Othello. So right after that is unfortunately like when the pandemic hit and everything just kind of came to a standstill. So like, from doing like a life-changing drama in February of 2020 to just having like 6 months of nothing was like, for me, who has just been like always looking forward to the next drama to do, it was like really like, I don't know, I had a really tough time. I think everybody had a tough time mentally in that first like year of COVID, because like everybody had like so many issues going on with like anxiety and depression and all this stuff. And I was very much the same. I remember like I was developing really bad anxiety and I was having a horrible time. And I realized like a lot of it was just because I didn't have this thing that I used to like always look forward to, which was theatre. And there was no sign of it coming back either, because like things were so uncertain, right? No one knew what was happening in 2020. So So actually at that time, when I was like at one of my lowest points, my girlfriend Sani, actually, she said like, so why don't you just start that theatre company that you've been talking about doing? Because I always used to say like, I'm going to start a theatre company one day, I'll do it one day, I'll do it one day.
Yeah.
And then she was like, why not just do it? And I was like, well, I actually could just do it. And like, that gave me something to work towards.
Yeah.
And like just having like a goal that I could focus on like trying to reach,
Yeah.
that really helped me come out of like my rut as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, so I got like 4 of us, including me, to like create like a board for a theatre company. So it was me, Pravin, Ashik, and my girlfriend Sani. So we made this board, and we decided to do a play in middle of the pandemic. So that play was called Boys Play by Jack Heifner. So actually, it's a 2-man play, and the play itself talks a lot about like mental health issues. So I felt like if I had watched that play, it would have helped me a lot, because just like seeing that I'm not alone in a lot of the things that I feel, like helped me.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted a similar thing for like the audience to experience as well.
Yeah.
So we started on this whole plan of doing Boys Play, and this play, we wanted to do it like in my garden, because I have a big garden, and we thought, okay, we could actually stage these 2 guys to come here, and then we can get the audience to sit here, we can set up like marquees, tents, we can do this whole thing. And that idea slowly developed, and in the end, we ended up building a theater in the middle of my house. We made like wooden panels, we did like a crazy setup, and we had like 25 audience members per show. It was like kind of like a 360 show.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the leads in that play was actually Nismat, who is from MIS, and he played Othello in Othello.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like how things just kind of seamlessly transition, like in life, right? Like these things just click into place. And I always knew that that play was going to be the hardest play for me to direct, because it's the first one that I'm doing as a theatre production from a company, not like just for drama competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And for me, it was always about like trying to have a positive impact on like someone who watches the show, and hope that they will leave in a better place than when they came. And like after like a few people who reached out after the show, I knew like, oh, okay, like I'm not alone, and there were some other people who like benefited from watching it, and that made me like super happy. Like,
So in 2021, you started directing your second play for Clutch Plays Theatre, Tiny Beautiful Things.
Yep.
Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So that was kind of us trying to take that whole narrative of like trying to help our audience a little bit as well through their struggles. I think that was just me coming with like the dumbest ideas, and like my board members being like, okay, sure, we'll help you. And so this play that I had in mind, so right after Boys Play finished, it was really hard to find another play as good as Boys Play, because like I really connected with that script.
Yeah.
So I went through like at least like 500 different plays, like just reading summary after summary and just not finding one that like felt right to me. And I remember I ordered like maybe 10, I actually bought like 10 other scripts. And then like I just saw Tiny Beautiful Things like in that list toward the end, and I just ordered that as well, and I'm ordering 5 anyway. I'm paying the same shipping cost, you know.
Yeah.
So, but from the moment I opened the first page, I was like, oh my God, like I need to do this play, because like it connected with me in a way that like no other play had ever connected with me. And I knew like if anyone watches this play, like it's so relatable, because it's just about how we all like struggle with like through things in life. And like the whole play is an idea of people coming to this character called Sugar, and how she tries to help them and give them advice. And I feel like a lot of the advice that she gives is like transcends just the topic that she talks about. It's almost like a positive way of like approaching life, and that was something that like I learned a lot from. I remember like as I directed that play for like 4 or 5 months, almost like every week I took a new lesson away with me.
Yeah.
So and I remember I kept telling my like theater board, I kept telling them like, I wish I could watch this play. I wish I could be the one in the audience like watching this play for the first time, because it had such a good impact on me. So so we did Tiny Beautiful Things. That was in January of this year. So that was a real challenge, and it was so stressful to put. It was more stressful to put on than like Boys Play, because Tiny Beautiful Things was in the middle of like the Omicron surge, and it was just before Delta started.
Yeah.
So I remember when we started doing this project, I was looking for an assistant director, and I found one called Tash, who you know very well.
Yeah.
So Tash and I started working on this project, and just after we started, Delta kicked in. So then we had to like postpone our plans by 2 months. And then right after that, we tried to do like, our masked distance rehearsals. We did all that like brilliantly. And then we were like a month away from show, then Omicron showed up. So then like it was another struggle, and we were like, I was super anxious, like, please no one get COVID now, because like if one of us, if one of the actors or the directing team gets COVID now, it's done.
Yeah.
So that was really stressful, but again, it was very similar to Boys Play, where those who came for the show, like I think about maybe like 10 or 20 of those people like reached out to me with like long heartfelt messages about like how it impacted them, and like just reading those just like made my like entire year, like because I knew like it would have this effect, and I'm so glad that people were happy to like talk about those things. I feel like a lot of the times like we don't talk about like the ugly things that we feel inside, you know, and because I feel like when you look on Instagram and stuff, it's always like a highlight reel of like the greatest moments of your life.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of like struggling internally, and like a random person being able to like message me or like our company group and telling like how it affected them was like really beautiful, and like that meant a lot.
Yeah. Amazing. So Mayaan, would you like to give advice to anyone who wants to get into drama or wants to, you know, pursue a career
I'm probably
in
not
theatre?
very qualified to give this advice, but
No, you are.
as someone who like wasn't very naturally gifted at this stuff, I think the only way that I really knew how to do things was just like obsessive amounts of hard work. So I feel like if you really love something, whether it's like a sport or an art form or whatever it is, like don't be ashamed to go at it 110%. You know, like apathy is the enemy of the world. You know, like care about things, love things, and like give it your all. Because there is no one way to do things. The way that I found directing and the way I approached improving in directing won't be the way that you might improve if you're going for it, you know? So I would say definitely find your own way of doing it and go for it. Like, don't hold back.
And there we have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to this episode with Mayaan. We hope you enjoyed it. Tune in for the next episode.